This is the 3D VIEW-MASTER adventure Show 90, Attack of the Tiger by Gerry Anderson. Professor McLAine lives, or at least used to live, a peaceful existence with his young son Joe in a cottage in the vicinity of London, until the day that he revealed to one of his friends, Sam Louver, a rather extraordinary invention he has just made. He can transmit through a strange apparatus the knowledge from one human brain to another. With the help of Joe, he gives a little demonstration just for fun to his guest. Sam Louver, who is a WIN agent, World Intelligence Network, understands in a flash to which use his organization could put this invention in its struggle against crime and espionage. He takes McLAine and Joe to WIN headquarters to acquaint them with a strange adventure which had begun a few days earlier, thousands of miles away from there, in an inhospitable region of Asia. VIEW-MASTER Reel 1, Picture 1. Fees rubbed his eyes, incredulous. His life as a secret agent had, however, given him the habit of controlling his emotions, but he would never have thought that what was taking place a few hundred feet below him could happen anywhere else than in a James Bond film. But however, he was not dreaming. Picture 2. With a purring of engines that the wind of the valley brings to him, whole sections of mountain contour themselves away like an immense theatre setting. In a few minutes, the steep rocks covered with vegetation have given way to a huge underground complex, the nature of which leaves no doubt. Concrete blockhouses, huge tanks between which run teams of busy men, surrounded by gigantic rocket which has just risen up from the bowels of the earth. Picture 3. In the heart of the base, in a room hidden yards under the ground, two operators control a whole range of television screens and multicolored lights. Weep, 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 weep. The silence of the room is torn by the shrill call of an alarm signal. Without losing a second, the two men shout in the microphones. Alert! Alert! The electronic detectors indicate something abnormal at 40 degrees from post 15. The soldiers poured into the waiting trucks. Picture 4. Fees sees too late the vehicles which converge on him. Already the armed soldiers are jumping down. He must escape from them at all costs, but the noose tightens around him. Motionless, the agent hears the dried leaves crackle under his pursuer's feet. When one of the men is only a few inches from him, Fee springs like a tiger to catch hold of his throat. Without a cry, an inert body collapses. Picture 5. A frontier post, entangled in the moistness of the jungle, an officer and a sergeant droves, indifferent to the mosquitoes which buzz around their ears. Suddenly, violent blows shake the door. All right, coming, grumbles the lieutenant phlegmatically. Hardly has he opened when a man, exhausted, covered with mud, rushes into the room. It is Fees, who, escaping by a miracle from his pursuers, has reached a friendly post just in time. Picture 6. Quick! I must talk immediately to a superior officer. Take me to the headquarters, says Fees, panting. Of course, sir, of course, replies the lieutenant, who does not seem to take the agent seriously. But Fees grows impatient. Let us not lose time. I have information of the first import. Bang! A detonation has just sounded. Shattering the window, the bullet hits the WIN agent in the back. Picture 7. Mortally wounded, Fees lays on the floor of the post. Leaning over him, the officer pricks up his ears to catch the last words which escape from the lips of the dying man. Inform WIN. Transmit this. The breath gets shorter. The head rolls on one side. Fees has ceased to live. VIEW-MASTER Reel 2. Picture 8. Weston, the chief of WIN, begins to speak. From the report of our agent Fees, everything is ready at the secret base to annihilate in a few days the major cities of Europe and America. We have only one way to prevent this. Strike quickly and strongly. Only a surprise attack can allow us to reach the objective. And it is there that you can help us, Professor, says Weston, casting an understanding glance at Sam Loover, who is standing by his side. Picture 9. A few hours later, McLAine and Joe are lost in the thick of the adventure. Set on watch a few yards from the little cottage, in the professor's special car, they seem to be waiting for something. Indeed, a red car leaves the cottage. Look, there he is. Hold on! The professor starts the jet engine of the vehicle. Picture 10. Rapidly, the machine gathers speed. At the back, stubby wings move out from the body. The wheels leave the ground. The vehicle climbs. In front, the car they are pursuing is losing ground. McLAine pilots now, skimming the hedgerows. At less than 300 feet from the red car, he regains contact with the ground, prepares to overtake the sports car, but as he draws alongside, he begins to zigzag on the road, forcing the driver of the car being pursued to brake violently to avoid collision. Picture 11. What are you playing at? Asked the man in an angry voice. That heap of iron shouldn't be allowed on the road. Mac tries to appease the driver whilst Joe turns on a sort of portable recording instrument. My name is McLAine, says the professor. Please forgive me for this incident. I have skidded on the loose chippings and... let's say no more about it, retorts the man, who introduces himself in turn. Foley, pilot at the World Air Force Base. Picture 12. The plot has been well laid. Mac and Joe, who knew with whom they were dealing, have used this stratagem to record the brain impulses of the pilot without him suspecting anything. Well, here goes, says Mac to his son. Joe installs himself in the big red whilst Sam Loover manipulates the controls of the apparatus. In a few minutes, he says, Joe will know as much as one of the most brilliant pilots of the World Air Force. Picture 13. The World Air Force Base. In front of the control tower, the VG-104, the most perfected variable geometry jet aircraft of the WAF, is ready to take off on its secret mission. Well then, Mr. Loover, is your mysterious pilot ready? Asked the general, who is going to direct the briefing. Yes, sir, he is, answers Sam, pointing to Joe. Picture 14. Having recovered a little from his astonishment, the general takes them over to the flight plan for a last briefing. Everything is in order. The last modifications required have been executed. Extra fuel tanks and more firepower. Then, indicating the map, Joe will leave the coast following a bearing of 50. The added payload of bombs and rockets obliges us to provide for a refueling approximately at the point IFS 2044. VIEW-MASTER Reel 3. Picture 15. The time of the takeoff draws near. Strapped in the cockpit that the engineers have closed on him, Giving a last sign of encouragement, Joe calls to the air traffic controller. Tiger to control. Okay, ready to take off. A nasal voice crackles in his earphones. Control to Tiger. Use runway 4. Authorization to take off. Picture 16. Lifting itself off the tarmac with all the power of its engines, the VG-104 takes wing towards the east. Good luck, boy, murmurs McLAine. Sam puts his hand on his shoulder. Everything will go well, Mac. Don't worry. Picture 17. Several hours have passed since takeoff. Joe consults his instruments. Altitude 50,000. Speed Mach 1.8. In a few instants, he will see the jet fuel tanker. Here it is. Already the fuel pipe comes down towards him. The maneuver is difficult. Joe must insert the nose of the VG-104 into the nozzle. Clonk. Done it. Immediately, the fuel gushes into the tanks of the bomber. Picture 18. Now, Joe is alone in his cockpit, cut off from the rest of the world. Since the refueling, the young boy has begun the secret part of his mission. To avoid location, he is observing radio silence. If everything goes well, he will arrive over the target in a few minutes. In the darkness, which fell more than an hour ago, a flash blinds Joe, shaking the VG-104. In a few seconds, a chain of explosions follows the flight of the fighter bomber. Anti-aircraft turrets rise from below ground, setting up a barrage of steel and flame in front of the plane. Picture 19. Banking steeply, the plane dives through the curtain of tracer bullets which come up towards him. Calmly, Joe pushes his finger towards a red button. Whoosh! 2 rockets streak away from the VG-104 towards their target. Receiving a direct hit, an AA post disappears in a mushroom of flames. Picture 20. Inside the underground base, the general alarm is sounded. The klaxons shriek without stopping, but the darkness helps Joe. After a wide U-turn, he prepares for a second pass. In the command room, the radio operator screams his orders in the microphones. Suddenly, a terrifying tremor shakes the mountain. The control apparatus disappear under chunks of rock. The operator tries vainly to make a last call. Picture 21. Its brain destroyed. The base puts up only a disorganized resistance now to the successive attacks of the assailant. Joe now has no more trouble to aim his devastating bombs, so bright is the glow of the fires. In a last dive, the VG-104 swoops again upon its prey. With a shrill whine, the bomb reaches the rocket's launching pad. From the huge fuel tanks burst by the explosion, torrents of flame escape which set fire to everything on their way. A minute later, the rocket writhes in the flames before crashing down in a sheet of fire. Already, Joe is turning his back on this apocalyptic scene. With a hand still moist, he plugs in his radio. Mission accomplished. I'm coming back. We want to add new videos every day, so please subscribe to our channel.
And if you had fun, thumbs up.